How's it going, guys? We're back. Another beer review. Nice beer review day we got going here today, Saturday. It is January 25th. So, in some places, this is Robbie Burns Day is celebrated. Usually with a lot of drinking, because Robert Burns was a celebrated poet from Scotland, 18th century poet, very, very influential, very famous. A lot of people consider him the greatest poet from Scotland. If you're not familiar with his work, you should probably know one of his songs, even if you don't know the name of it. Auld Lang Syne, which is, should all acquaintance be forgot and never thought upon. That song. Basically, he took a traditional Scottish song, I guess, and just put his own lyrics over it, basically. But he did a lot of that. He collected a lot of traditional Scottish songs and poetry, folk songs, and things like that. Sometimes reworked them for his own work. But anyway, celebrated in Scotland, celebrated in some parts of North America, most notably northern Canada, Newfoundland and Labrador. I don't know if they officially celebrate it, but they do celebrate it. Quite a few people do, because they like their drinking up there. So, yeah. So we got a beer, Scottish style beer, sent to me by Guy, Beer Guy Reviews. This is Simple Malt from. This is the Simple Malt from the Simple Malt line from Brasserie Limité from Quebec. This is their Scotch ale, Wee Heavy, and it's got the Scottish Terrier on there. And it is 8.2% alcohol by volume, 35 IBUs. And they don't really say anything else. They do say some stuff in French, but thankfully it's in French, so I can't read it. It looks like tasting notes, so I don't want to know those anyway. Ooh, I smell it already. Wow, that is dark. That is very dark for a Wee Heavy. Wee Heavies are usually a bit lighter in color than this. I mean, this is within the range, but a lot of the ones you find are usually more straight up mahogany. This is very, very dark ruby red mahogany. Like, it looks almost like a stout or a porter or something along those lines. It's so dark. It's only when you put it up to the light that you actually see it really is just a very deep, deep red. But initial appearance, it looks pretty much pitch black. Nice brown head on there, a little bit of a head anyway. Very dark for a Wee Heavy. I can smell it from here. So we'll go right to the aroma. Nice caramel heavy, prune date heavy malt character to it. Just, your classic straight up Wee Heavy Scotch ale style aroma. Getting breadiness out of it as well. Just overall, just this big malt tone, like so malty. It's a malt maniac's dream, really. Not picking up any hops. It's all about the malt, roasty. There's a little bit of a roasty character to it. Smells very good. It reminds you, English barley wines are roughly within the same style as this. Essentially, they're both big, strong ales that are heavy on the malt. And although English barley wines, they tend to have a bit more of a hop presence than these Wee Heavies seem to. So that's pretty much the big difference. But for the most part, it's got a lot of the similar kind of big fruity notes, like almost fruitcake. You could even argue like an orange marmalade kind of aroma in there as well. But this is very caramel heavy, this one. Very, very caramel heavy. So we're going to go right to the taste. Cheers. Mm. Oh, that's great. It's got a great mouthfeel to it right off. Really nice. Pretty much spot on for the style. It's upper medium to full-bodied mouthfeel on it. That's the first thing you notice. Flavors are very upfront, very caramel, malt heavy again. Almost slight tobacco-ish flavor as well. Even the finish has got a bit of that malt sweetness coming up. Like the hops that are here, very small if there's any hop presence. I think I'm getting a little bit of drying hoppiness in the back, but a little bit earthy. But for the most part, it's really the malt just dominates the entire thing. Luckily, there's no big sweet notes that are like really aggressive and cloying or anything like that. It's just a big, chewy beer, man. It's not as complex as what you would find in English barley wine usually either. That's another slight difference. And of course, that has something that has to do in some part with the fact that these beers aren't as hopped as English barley wines tend to be. And, you know, when you take something like Fuller's Vintage Ale, for instance, where they employ a lot of different hops, you get all kinds of strange not strange, interesting, diverse notes and stuff, depending on what vintage you get from them. This is a bit more simple, a bit more laid back in a way, although it's still a big, bold beer. You're not getting any of the alcohol in the aroma or in the taste. It's not even feeling particularly warming going down or anything. So, big chewy beer, very very nice. Lingering, sort of date, prune kind of taste on the sides of the tongue. Very, very good. I prefer these actually in some respects to barley wines for the reason that they're a bit more simple, usually, a bit more laid back. So, in some respects, they're easier to drink, easier to enjoy. You're not really sitting there trying to pick out all kinds of stuff. And these are, in some ways, more of a dessert beer. And it works. It works as a dessert beer. It works as a not necessarily as a winter warmer. At least this one doesn't. But it does work as sort of like just a big, thick beer that you're something substantial for a winter drink. Dare say there's even a spiciness coming out in this now. Kind of slightly clove. Just ever so slightly. Oh, it's really good, man. Really, really good. More complexity, and it would probably get a higher rating for me, but as it stands, it's an incredibly solid, wee heavy. Simple malt Scotch ale, wee heavy. I'm going to go as far as a 4.25 out of 5 on that one. I really like it. I've had some better Scotch ales, but this is right up there. It's really good. I mean, it hits all the really good notes. Maybe just not as warming as some of them, but other than that, it's straight up classic Scotch ale. Wee heavy. And it's really good. So yeah, 4.25 out of 5. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.